All right, hello everyone. Peace of the Lord to all of you. I hope my voice coming good and clear. Today I decided to make a kind of introduction to Islam. I received a request, and the request is to do so because some they have zero information about Islam, so I've been asked to do so. In the internet, there's tons of information about Islam, and many of them, they have the same exact title, Introduction to Islam. But as usual, every single one of them is not giving you the truth about Islam. And I challenge anyone from those who are listening, and starting from the very core of Muslims, if they exist, to prove me wrong in anything I say. In fact, after we speak for some time, I'm going to open my line. I will go to Discord and take any challenge from any Muslim who can prove me wrong in anything I said. The first thing we hear from Muslims, you see, I put this picture for you on the screen. This is what Muslims, they publish about their prophet. He is very good looking according to them. And as you see, he have eyeliner. And yes, Muhammad, he used to have eyeliner, which is very weird. And Muhammad used to be like a woman, which is very weird. And Muhammad, he dressed his wife clothes, which is very weird. And Muhammad, he allowed men to kiss him down his belly and even rub their back with his chest, which is very weird. However, the Muslims always, they draw Muhammad as a very, very, very extreme white man. And then in the internet, we notice that the Muslims, they say to Christians, you worship white God. But in Islam, their God, Allah, is white. Muhammad is white. The angels are white. The virgins Allah will give to Muslims in heaven are white. The boys, they are like pearls. And Allah will make everyone enter Islam, enter heaven, very white. And then they come to the Christian and they say, you worship white God. But if you go in the whole Bible, you will never see that word. We never mention, nobody speak about Jesus' color. It's not even important. We Christian, we don't care because we follow the Messiah. We don't follow ethnic group. However, we have tons of reference about Muslims and even videos speaking about Muhammad, how white he is. In fact, there is an order, holy order, it says, the one who said the prophet is black, kill him. Why is that? Because simply this is the purpose of it is to say something not true, to insult Muhammad. But today, this is not our topic. We want to focus about how Islam is started and what is Islam. In fact, I might open Discord right now, and I might take a Muslim call. Let me see. Let me open Discord. Hold on. Maybe a Muslim can give us introduction to Islam instead of me giving you the introduction or reading from their website. And you will see right away that Muslims do not know about anything in their religion except what they heard. And if what they heard is just copy-paste from each other. And the second you examine what the Muslim he says about Islam, you will find Islam fail immediately. Immediately Islam will fail. Let me open my Discord and start my what is Islam? All right, I just started my Discord. Any Muslim would like to join us, just to click at the link. You see it in the info of the video. And you can be with us, and I will hear you. Do you guys hear me in Discord? Am I heard? I guess people in Discord don't hear me. Okay, they hear me. All right. If there is any Muslim, any moment, would like to join us, I will be happy to take you. Before we start, Islam is based on what? The Muslims, they say to us that Muhammad received Quran. Muhammad received what? Muhammad received the Quran. What is the Quran? The Quran supposedly is the book of revelation, which is Allah and only Allah is speaking. Remember that always. Allah and only Allah is speaking. However, the second we start examining this issue, we will find the Quran collapse again. And not only that, the Muslims, they have a big problem. He says that they don't want to accept anything. Some of them, because Islam is very messed up, so they try to go and say we believe only in the Quran. Let me share the screen with people in Discord. All right, let us see, give me a second. All right, you guys, you see my screen right now in Discord, right? So the Muslims, they have a big problem because Islam is total fabrication. Many and a lot of the Muslims don't want to accept what their prophet said. And the only solution is to say that all the stories about Prophet Muhammad and what he said is a fabrication. And then we have the only book for the Muslim then is left is the Quran. But the Quran is a stupid book. There's nothing in the Quran. In fact, there's zero religion about Islam in the Quran. It's just a random words, random stories they are not connected to each other. This is a sheikh. Somebody is asking him, and I will go back to the start of Islam, by the way, but just to give you an idea, Islam is based on what? According to Muslims, Islam is based on what Muhammad did and said. This they call it Sunnah, which means Sunnah is what Muhammad said, what Muhammad did, what Muhammad commanded to do. And then his companions supposedly they follow. And the Quran. However, you will find a lot of what Muhammad said contradict the Quran. The Muslims, they take what Muhammad said over the Quran, which is very weird because they claim that they worship Allah and they obey Allah. However, because Muhammad told them that he is the one who you have to obey at the end of the day, whoever obey Muhammad, he obey Allah. So now the Muslims, they have no problem to take a statement Muhammad, he said in the hadith. Hadith means a speech. And then that will cancel what the Quran is saying. And let me show you just a little bit of the Muslim dilemma with this issue, how they are confused and how they are trying to save themselves from all the stories in the hadith, which is embarrassing. Sidi from Germany, he says that there are people who, when you talk to them about haram things in the Sunnah, they reject it and they say no, as long as it's not mentioned in the Quran, we do not believe in it. This is very dangerous, and such people risk being an apostate depending on the degree of their rejection. If they say we don't believe in the Sunnah totally, and anything that is not in the Quran, we do not believe in it, these are kafir, disbelievers, because they disbelieve in the Quran. So many imbeciles, wallahi, there's so many ignorant people that you feel so ashamed while speaking to them, feel so sorry for them, and they're so proud of themselves. Yes, we don't believe except in the Quran. The Quran is the word of Allah. Allah revealed it to Muhammad alayhi salam, preserved it. We believe nothing except in it. Excuse me, have you ever read the Quran? No, sorry, I don't know Arabic. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. And you're coming to discuss something of the principles of Islam simply out of your whims and desires? Don't you know that in the Quran Allah says, وَأَطِيعُ اللَّهِ وَأَطِيعُ الرَّسُولِ, obey Allah and obey the Prophet ﷺ. How to obey the Prophet? How to obey Allah Azza wa Jal? First of all, so yeah, we have to obey Allah. How? So by reading the Quran, this is Allah's words. Good. How to obey the Prophet ﷺ? By obeying the Quran.
because the Quran was revealed to him. Excuse me, it's the same thing. Obeying the Quran, the Prophet ﷺ, is by believing in the Sunnah. So if you do not believe in the Sunnah and you say, no, music is not mentioned in the Quran, wearing gold for men is not mentioned in the Quran, doing this, doing that is not, combining, marrying a woman with her maternal or paternal aunt is not mentioned in the Quran, I can do that. And he keeps on saying rubbish. So what do you do with such people? Such people are apostates because they've exited the fold of Islam. This is different to someone who says that the hadith related to music, in my opinion, and according to my research, is not authentic. I believe in the Sunnah. I believe 100% in the Sunnah and I abide by it. But there is a specific hadith here and there, only a handful, maybe one or two, that I don't accept. This is dangerous if it's coming from someone who does not have knowledge. If he's a knowledgeable person, a student of knowledge, a scholar, yeah, we accept that because he's got the tools to make such a verdict. But if he is someone who's ignorant, doesn't know the Sharia, doesn't know the Quran, doesn't know Arabic, and he comes and gives fatwas and yes halal and this is haram, and he doesn't know how to speak even the language of the Quran, definitely this is something that...
Here you see what he said expressed to us how stupid Islam is. So now this guy is an Asian. He's from Asia, he's not an Arab. And suddenly he's dressed like an Arab. And now he just told you, if you don't speak the language of the Quran, you cannot understand Islam. You are an idiot. And then they say to us, Islam is for all mankind. But knowing that more than 90% of the Muslims, and even maybe more, do not speak one Arabic word, that means 90% of the Muslims, according to what we heard from this sheikh, they are ignorant, idiot, stupid. They know nothing. So now, the Muslims who don't want to accept Muhammad's command, they say, we want only the Quran. Either way, Islam is an embarrassment and Islam is stupid. If there is any Muslim who would like to come to the microphone in Discord and tell us what is Islam, and we will examine one by one. Until we get a Muslim, if we go in the internet, you will find many written articles made by Muslims. And right away you will see the lies is coming shiny. Islam is an Arabic term which means submit. That is a big fat lie. Islam does not mean submit, Islam means surrender. And even some they say to you the word Islam coming from the word salam. In fact, this is the opposite. Salam is coming from the Hebrew and the Aramaic, shalom, shlama. That is peace. Islam is the opposite. Islam is put down your weapon, you surrender, we will not kill you. So here you see that the lies start introducing Islam to you from the very first name of Islam. They say to you Islam means submission. And you will find a lot of ignorant Christians who they claim that they have knowledge, even they are attacking Islam. They keep repeating the same stupid mistake. They keep saying to you, Islam means submission. And I can name for many names. We keep saying to them, don't say this, don't say that. Islam does not mean submission. You are being an idiot. But they keep repeating the same thing. How we can prove that this is false? It's very easy. If you go in the Quran, you will find a clear evidence that Islam means surrender. And the Quran gives us definition who is a Muslim. A Muslim is not someone who believes in Islam. A Muslim is someone who has been forced to surrender to Allah and the Prophet. For sure, the Prophet first. In chapter 48, verse number 16, Muhammad told the Arab, if you don't join me, I will kill you all. Here you see the Muslim translation saying, say to the desert Arab who lagged behind, you will be called against people of a great might, and you will fight them unless you surrender, not submit. That's a big fat lie. I mean, it's clear, unless you surrender, right? What's submit? Submit is something you do willingly, not somebody forcing you. Here we are talking about war. So this cannot be submit. In fact, if we change the translator, this is Itani. If we change the translator, and all of them, they are Muslims. Look what happened. This is the translation of Muhammad Hilali Khan, Muhammad Hilali and Muhammad Khan. Both are Muhammad. So we have Muhammad S2. Muhammad Square translation. Unless you surrender. All right? So Islam does not mean submit. And how we can prove that Islam does not mean to believe, mean only surrender? Well, the Quran. The Quran say clearly, you don't need to believe. In fact, those Muslims who that joined Muhammad, they did not believe in Muhammad. And the Quran confirmed that. Chapter 49, verse number 14. The Bedouin say, the same Bedouin Muhammad, he just a threat to kill them if they don't convert to Islam. He will fight them, he will kill them, and he warned them to surrender. Well, those people now, they surrender. All right? But look what happened. The Bedouin says, we believe. Say, Allah saying now to Muhammad, telling Muhammad to say to them, Muhammad, you believe not. Remember, the one who's talking supposedly is so-called Allah, which is Muhammad fabricating Quran. You believe not, but only you say, we have surrendered, which means what in Arabic? Aslamna, which means become Muslims. Become Muslims. But what become Muslim mean? We surrender. So as you see, they did not believe. Allah telling them, you can say we are Muslims, but you cannot say we believe. For faith has not yet entered your heart. So how those people become Muslim but faith never entered their heart? Do you see how obvious it is? He forced them to convert. The sword in their neck, say Shahada or we will chop your head. They say Shahada. But look what is important in Islam. It's not important to believe in Allah. It's not important to believe in Muhammad. What important is to obey Allah and His Messenger. Do you see it? So the whole idea of Islam is to surrender to Muhammad and become his slave. Allah is just a decoy toy to make people believe that Muhammad is just a servant of God. But if the second you start looking carefully, you will notice that everything in Islam is about one person. His name is Muhammad, not about Allah. Allah does not even exist in Islam. The whole purpose of Islam is to serve Muhammad. Muhammad, he claimed that he is a servant of Allah, the slave of Allah. But everybody have to serve one man. So the introduction of Islam given to you in the internet, as we see here, full of massive lies, fake, hypocrite, like this woman here, the blonde woman, she said she converted to Islam because she met some Muslims and she found that Islam is not the one in Fox News. What she mean by Islam is not the one in Fox News? Oh, she mean, ISIS. She mean Al-Qaeda. Okay. Well, can you name for me one thing ISIS did Muhammad did not do? Just one. Can you? Name for me just one thing. From burning people alive. Ali, he burned people alive. Muhammad Muhammad, when people they were not coming in Friday prayer, he said, I'm going to burn their houses. And then he changed his mind. What about chopping the women to pieces when she's alive at the age of 86? Kidnapping, raping, all things Muhammad did is in total agreement with Islam. Total agreement. And then you will find tons of articles written saying that Islam is not ISIS. Tons of articles. But the easiest challenge is, name for me one thing ISIS did Muhammad did not do. Muhammad, he made it clear, and the Quran make it clear, as you see, this is terror. You surrender, you live. You don't surrender, I will slaughter you. I will rape your women. Muhammad is a gang leader who wanted to establish a gang system, a political system. Have nothing to do with God. God is just a decoy. God is just a toy. So we can get the authority. So I say, God told me. It's not me. So going back to zero. Until now, we see no Muslim would like to join us and introduce Islam to us. But if we go and we check what Muslims they say about Islam, the first lie we expose, Islam does not mean submission, Islam means surrender. Submit one to the will of Allah. That's false. You have to submit your will to the will of Muhammad. In fact, the Quran make it clear that whoever obey Muhammad, he obey Allah. You obey Muhammad, you obey Allah. So Muhammad, he used an old word, ancient word for God, which is used by the Arab and many of the Aramaic nations worshiping the moon god, which is two words, Al and Lah. If you go to the Quran from the first verses, you will find here it says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allah, most of people, they think Allah is a full word, one word, mean the name of God. But you ask the Muslim what Allah mean. I mean, it's okay, this is his name. What the word mean? They don't know. Not a single Muslim can answer you. You will find tons of articles written about what Allah mean. They don't know. Or this is a foreign word taken from foreign language, which is Aramaic. Allah contained two words. Al, which is a word mean God, and Lah. Lah is the moon god. And now you will see Muslim, they will say to you, this guy is a liar, he's stupid. The Quran says to us clearly, don't worship the moon, don't worship the sun. The moon god is not the moon. The moon god is the God who is in charge of the moon. The sun god is the one who have the power over the sun. So there's many ignorant, they do not know what the moon god present. The moon god is not about worshiping the moon. The moon is the one who represents that God. Not the moon itself is the God. Like Muhammad, because he's an Arab, and the Arab, they worship the moon god, which is a nice god for them. Why? Because the sun is the one who torture them, the one who kill their animals, the one who make them die from thirst. It's a desert community, totally desert. If you check what is the weather right now in Mecca, you will find it's scary. It might be 60, 70 degrees in the sun. Scary, you know, if you go to some areas, nothing can live there in Saudi Arabia. So the moon god was the nice god, and the sun god is the ugly god. The sun god was popular between those who live in Europe. Why? Because, I mean, there's not much sun. That's why you see European, when the sun comes, they go in the beach and they lay down for many hours, which is stupid to do, can cause cancer under the sun. But you will never see someone as an Arab laying under the sun because you have too much of it. In fact, the effect of the Bedouin desert is all over the Quran. As an example, the heaven of Islam, all of it is about green. Even your clothes will be green. The clothes of the Muslims is green in heaven, which is very ugly, very uncomfortable. Imagine yourself dressed like doctors in the hospital, in the surgery room, all your life. So everything around you will be green. Your clothes will be green. And even there is a very massive person in Islam, his name is Al-Khudr, which means Mr. Green. And the story of the Prophet Al-Khudr, which is Prophet Green, is very funny and very embarrassing to Islam. Al-Khudr is a person mentioned in the story or the legends of Gilgamesh about looking for the fountain of youth. And supposedly Al-Khudr, he found the fountain of youth and he drank from it, and since then he never died. And the reason they call him Al-Khudr, which means a green, because now he drank from the fountain of youth. When he sit on the grass, even if the grass is dead, the grass will become a green again. Because remember, he is the one who drank from the fountain of youth. So now even his sweat, even his piss is water of youth. And here you see Islam is just a collection of fairy tale stories taken from other cultures, other religions, all over the place.